I'm not a big subscriber to sort of mysticism and theories of what dreams are, like mystically or so, but like I think they definitely show me what how my worries and how emotions in general, be they positive or negative, are affecting me like psychologically. Um, at the end of every day, or at the beginning of every day, because that's usually when I'm having very vivid dreams right before I wake up. Um, I get a sense of what it is that like is weighing the most in my subconscious. So to that, it matters to me, I think, to like sort of deconstruct what I'm dreaming about, to know like why I might be feeling certain ways. I use it to interpret my own sort of psychological state a lot of the time. I don't know. I've had some really crazy dreams, and sometimes it takes me a long time to figure out like why I've had them. Sometimes I don't figure out why I've had them, but I think a lot of the time, um, things I thought weren't bothering me as much as they actually were, I fully come to understand them, and I've realized like I've had crazy dreams about them. I've had a lot of coursework. For example, like I had two essays due this week, and I had two separate dreams in which the professors of both of these classes came to my house and basically just called me out for being like irresponsible or whatever, which are stress dreams. Like I just feel like I have a lot of stress dreams. But besides that, for example, I'm a big comic book fan actually, and I'm really into like the Marvel movies that are coming out. So I watched the more recent one that came out, the second Avengers film, and that same night, like I dreamt I was an Avenger and I was having all these crazy adventures and shit. And so I think I understood why I'm so into Marvel movies after I dreamt about it, because I was like, wow, this is interesting escapist fantasy that I'm like using for myself to like distract myself from the tedium of like university life. The dreams I remember tend to be very tend to be kind of fantastical, and like weird things happen, right? Dream logic, but they tend to have narratives to them, I've realized. And sometimes I'm waking up and I realize I don't want to wake up because I want to go back to this dream narrative and I want to see where it takes me. So sometimes I actually realize like in my dreams I create all these weird things. Like I'll think of tunes and music, or like even foreign languages that I'm speaking, and I wake up and I'm like, where is this coming from? So I feel like I get very creative in my dreams in a way that I don't even understand how to do when I'm awake. I speak English, Spanish, and Portuguese, and I think definitely I noticed with Portuguese, since I learned it after coming to Brown. I started dreaming in Portuguese after I went to Brazil and I became much more fluent in the language and started thinking in the language. Before that though, I've been bilingual most of my life between Spanish and English. I actually can't remember which language is most dominant in my dreams. I feel like they're quite mixed. And a lot of the times, even if I remember the dream, I don't remember what language is being spoken in the dream. I just remember what happened, or even just the content of the speech, but not the language of the speech. Yeah, I think languages, the three languages I know, just mix up very oddly in my dreams, and sometimes I'll be speaking Portuguese or Spanish or English or all three at the same time. And then sometimes I'm speaking something I don't recognize, or other people are speaking something I don't recognize, but it somehow makes sense in the dream. It might just be a gibberish language. I put a lot of importance into what comes out of my mind in those moments, because it's a way it helps me approach like my crises or my emotions or my problems. And it's almost like my subconscious is helping me through this of something that is stressing me out. Like another side of me is giving me hints as to how to handle something. And so like I think I definitely give weight to them in that respect. Oftentimes I'm dreaming and I open my eyes and I'm like, oh no, back to the dream, and I can do that. And so I feel like I'm somewhere in between sleep and wakefulness, and it's in that space where I can manipulate the content of my dreams in a way, and maybe mold whatever my subconscious is trying to tell me into something legible. So oftentimes this means I don't get out of bed for a while, because I'm just like, no, I want to keep seeing where my dreams take me.